How you doing, my guy?
Hey, what's up?
Full disclosure, I took some and I'm playing guitar right now. And I was
Okay.
wondering, would you like to do some jamming?
Like
Would you like to
right
jam with me?
now?
Yeah.
No, I would,
Go
but
away.
no, I'm busy. Not only am I busy, you can't
Oh,
really do it over Discord because the latency makes us you can't really play with each other. So,
damn.
but listen, have you ever in
You
Florida?
up for a conversation?
What?
You up for a conversation?
Um, I'm working right now. What do you want?
Uh-oh. I wanted to talk about politics. I wanted to talk about how the Republican Party continues to get away with it. So the Republican Party has violated norm after norm after norm, democratic norm, and yet 50% of the country still support them.
Okay.
Okay, so let's make some observations about this. This group of people are white, typically. They're typically Christian, right? And they typically represent men's issues as classes. If we examine this in a meta structure, what we're seeing is that this group is being threatened, right, with power, right?
Okay.
Okay, what happens if Trump loses the election? He's not going
Um,
to concede, right?
I think if they lose this election, I think they'll fuck off. I think that the Capitol defense is going to be much greater this time. I don't think
Really?
anybody's going to sign off on Trump doing like a rally in the Capitol on January 6th. It wouldn't surprise me if he actually gets
I
officially.
guarantee you, Trump's not going to fuck off, right? He's going to hold rally after rally after rally in a hyper aggressive manner.
I mean, like he's not even holding rallies right now, isn't he? He's like so
No,
fucking.
but it's not in his interest to right now.
Huh.
It's really
Here's
not.
the issue. Donald Trump will only do what he thinks is possible. Like Donald Trump Donald Trump Donald Trump could never be a George Washington, right? Like I wish I could think of like a faux dictator or fascist. Donald Trump is the guy that like rises up to assume power after like all of the dirty work is spent. You know what? Donald Trump is like the Lannisters in Game of Thrones, right? When the approaching armies are clearly going to take over the city, and when the king is gone mad and Tywin's son backstabs him, that's who Donald Trump is. He opens the doors for the opposing armies and then he sides with them and that's it. Donald Trump is never a guy who's like the odds are against us, but we're going to fight like hell. We're going to do what we can to win this and take over. So if January 6th rolls around and like you're already seeing kind of tepidness, I think, from the Republicans in terms of who will support him or who's not. But if he starts getting abandoned en masse by allies, he's not gonna fight that. He's just gonna fuck off. He'll be mad and he might like
But they
tweet.
haven't abandoned him yet, right? He's violated norm after norm, and they haven't abandoned him yet. January
Well,
6th
hold on.
was not
Okay,
a
you're
breaking
analyzing
point.
it incorrectly. Norm after norm and democracy and all that shit doesn't matter to conservatives. The only thing that matters is staying in office and popular support. The reason why the conservative leadership, not the voters, but the reason why conservative leadership was supporting Trump is because if you didn't support Trump, you would be destroyed. That's why in all of Trump's speeches and everything, and even today, I think he was tweeting out, this is why he says, you're not going to get reelected. Nobody's voting for you in 2022. Nobody's going to support you after I helped you get elected. That's the only power he has over these lawmakers. And if lawmakers
What
look at
I'm
Trump and see him failing, they're not going to back him, I don't think.
You don't think?
No,
Like
they won't.
they have continued to side with him. Like 80%
Because he was popular.
of Republicans got like insanely popular, and leadership has not bucked him so far. Every time leadership has tried to buck him, he absolutely annihilates them. He does ruin these people's careers, right?
Because he's
And so
popular,
far,
yes. But like,
okay, so but let's imagine he pushes another January 6th. They've shown they'll support him up to this point, right? Why wouldn't they support him further?
I don't think they will if it's clear that he's lost the mandate to lead the conservatives. I don't think they will. Like what happened and I could be wrong because I haven't looked into the details of this. I've only read articles about it, so I could be wrong. But in 2022, wasn't there like a pretty unanimous rejection of Trump-backed candidates for midterms?
By the electoral base, sure. But the Republican Party, since then, as they've lost that power, has only gotten more radicalized, right? That's what I'm recognizing.
Yeah, but if they're
And
not winning elections,
we're at a precipice point in America right now.
we'll see, I guess. But if you look at Donald Trump, and if you look at the people that support him, they support him when their jobs require them to. Like, if a Republican thinks that like a rebellion is in their best interest to win office next electoral season, they'll support Trump. But if Trump is starting to lose his mandate to lead, then they'll abandon ship. But that's the only thing it comes down to, I think.
But this isn't going to happen. They are already laying the groundwork to contest the next election. There are like there was this electoral board changed its rules recently, for example, so that they could have like an opinion about something. They could seek an opinion out or something to that effect, right? If before certifying, like they weren't bound by the certification process. So it's like giving them like more freedom on the ground level.
Sure.
And on the ground level, this group of conservatives, this meta group, right, white Christian males, has shown they will still back Trump, right?
I understand what you're saying, and they would, but like the only reason why January 6th worked the way that it did and was as successful as it was, even though it ultimately failed, was because the election was so close and because the mail-in ballots like ended up changing things overnight. Like that was the only thing that gave him the ability to push that event as hard as he did. If it's like a clear sweep or like a clear defeat and he's like, fuck.
But it was a clear sweep, right? Let's think on a meta level. On a meta level, 4 million Americans rejected Trump.
What? That doesn't have anything to do with anything.
Close, right?
That doesn't have anything to do with anything. It wasn't a clear sweep. I think he won by, I think Biden won by about like, what is it, like 44,000 votes. For the Electoral College, it was very, 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 very close. Popular vote doesn't matter. Yeah.
It does on a meta level. Right. It
doesn't because Republicans don't care about the popular vote anymore. Republicans don't need the popular vote to win. They don't care about it.
So let's look at the 2000 election, right, to look at how the Electoral College actually works. Right. We had a Republican Supreme Court stop a recount that was happening after the state Supreme Court in Florida, right, ordered a statewide recount. This election was seriously close. So the Republican Supreme Court orders that recount to stop, to have a hearing on it. And then when they decide their opinion, basically it's like, okay, well, there's not enough time to resolve this issue. So, I guess the Republicans get the election.
I understand what you're saying, but it reinforces what I said earlier. That only worked because like that one state was going to decide the election basically, right? And it was very, 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 very close, right?
Well, since then, there's only been a more hostile, like, Republican takeover of legislatures. So in the 2000
No. You're focused so much on the legislatures and the states and all that bullshit. That doesn't matter. If Florida would have been 100,000 votes in one direction or another, then the whole 2000 Supreme Court none of that even happens. Right? That's what I'm saying. Trump only had his legitimacy through how close the election was in these swing states on for the last election. If it's a blowout, nobody's supporting his bullshit. Like,
I guess I'm super pessimistic. They've supported his bullshit so far.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens.
Like the dude led an insurrection, and they still support him
because he has
bullied his way to be the nominee. Like this is
because he has the support of the party.
No, but let's recognize what this is on a meta level. This is Hugo Chavez. This is Hugo Chavez for America. Right? He has demonized the media to such an extent that fact checking is like a crime now. Like we can't trust the fourth estate to look at what a politician is claiming and to verify some truth out of it. He's altered reality in America in such a way that we're becoming more violent and more aggressive in what we do to people and how we take over power. Like we have an active culture of hatred towards trans people. We talk about trans people in this country in a very similar way to the way Nazi Germany talked about Jews. Like we hate them as a culture. Okay. And Republicans and Trump has only cheerled this, right? This culture he leads has only cheerled this.
Sure.
And they're still taking over.
I don't know what you want me to say. I don't disagree with you. I agree with all this. I don't know what you want me to say. Yeah, Trump is a fucking horrible person. Yeah. Anybody that supports him is insane.
So predict the future when he loses the election.
Why what?
Take all of these facts and predict what happens when he loses the election. He's going to what he's going to do is lead another January 6th. Is there really any doubt in your mind?
Yes, but for all the things I already said, yeah. I think he'll want to. He'll want to, but if the election is so far gone that he's lost it so much, and if you see like Republican leadership start to abandon him, if you see like the media start to abandon, and it'll all happen at once. It's not going to be it'll be like a couple people, and then everybody will like turn away because they realize this is fucked. Yeah, he's not going to. Trump will never show up to something that he doesn't think he's going to win ever. He's not that kind of. He's not man enough to do that. He's not the kind of person. He doesn't have the backbone of the character to do that. He's only going to be at an area where he knows he's got the numbers, he's got the support, he's going to win it. He's not going to actually fight for any of this ever. So if he clearly loses the next election, if it's by big enough margins, he'll probably give a salty as fuck speech, say we changed America or some bullshit. Maybe rustle some leaves in the background, and then he'll fuck off. That's my guess. But if it's really close again, if it's like within like contesting recount margins of error or whatever, then I think
it's going to be very close.
What?
Like, let's examine that reality. It's probably going to be very close.
We have no idea. Right. Anybody tries to make any predictions, everything is crazy right now. If he does,
I know there's like this Kamala energy, but Trump has a hyper aggressive voting base. Right?
Yeah, but that base might be shrinking a bit, right?
Record Republican turnout.
Yeah, and Biden got record Democratic turnout. I mean, if it's close, I think he'd probably try something again for sure. But I think the Capitol is going to be much better defended this time. Everybody's going to be much more awake with all the bullshit.
See, Republicans are already laying the groundwork to contest the next election, even in Congress.
Where?
At committee after committee, they are aggressively making claims about illegals coming in with fentanyl and trying to, like, this is how they're talking about it on a cultural level, right? This is why they're hyper strict on immigration.
Sure. I mean, we can see what happens, but those are my predictions. We'll see. I could be wrong. Hopefully not. But
I mean, on a cultural level, what this is, it's like the threat of white male supremacy is on a cultural level. Like, the way this conversation is happening is as if this culture is violently defending itself.
Sure. But they're not gonna fight to the death if it's like, the country is surprisingly, the country is just too stable. People have homes, people have food, like the economy's doing fine, regardless of what people on Twitter cry about. Nobody's gonna go to fucking war because they're unhappy that Kamala Harris got elected.
Not now. Yeah, you know what? Maybe not now, but let's say in 20 years from now, with this hyper-aggressive class of Republicans, which has shown itself to only take power more and more aggressively, to violate democratic norms more and more, right? Maybe Trump fucks off. Actually, who's to say Trump's not going to run again if he loses?
I don't think he would. He could. I didn't think he'd run here, but I don't know. We'll see, I guess. But if he loses this, 2 elections lost in a row, that would be unhinged. I would invite him to... What?
It's not in his ego.
It's not about his ego. It's about how popular he is. If he has the popularity of the voters,
he's insanely popular.
Yeah, but he's
insanely popular.
Okay, all right. We'll see what happens then. I don't think he has the star power if he loses the election massively. At the end of the day, people want winners that win elections. That's what people want, and especially if you support Trump, you want a winner that wins elections.
As much as you think.
What?
Like, they don't as much as you think. So here's an observation I'm going to make as a teacher, right? I have students who cheerlead Trump on a cultural level. Like, they love Trump, right? And everything he represents, it's a hyper hatred of people who are different from them, right? Maybe Trump fucks off in the next election, right? But the groundwork is being laid hyper aggressively by the Republican Party to contest elections from here on. You don't see that?
Yeah, Republicans do this all the time, but that's what
with Bush v. Gore. By precedent, they did with Bush v. Gore.
Sorry. Contesting elections by doing different processes or procedures is a fundamentally separate thing than having a violent revolution on January 6th. Right?
I think it follows a trend. It follows a trend in that power is tilting towards Republicans. In whatever form it can, it continues to tilt towards Republicans.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to, but I mean...
And on a structural level, what it's saying is that, like, Trump got immunity, like, right? Like, this is saying that, hey, democratic norms are going to allow for this kind of behavior. The government is not going to defend itself from a guy who tried to launch a coup.
I don't know what you want me to say. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. Well, we'll see what happens. I don't know what I can say. I don't know what.
I'm sorry. I just feel like the territory is being laid for like Civil War shit a little bit.
Sure, I understand. Yeah, I mean, I disagree, but we'll see what happens. That's all we can wait and see, I guess, right?
I guess I don't understand why you disagree. If
I already told you I disagree. I already said. I said that the groundwork doesn't matter. What matters at the end of the day is the popular support that the candidate has. They can lay as much groundwork as they want, but if they end up losing the election by a landslide, if the candidates that Donald Trump supports are losing elections, then it doesn't matter. There's no way that the leadership is going to back him, which means none of the local leadership is going to back him, which means whatever the constituents. Okay.
They do. They continue to.
Because he's so far, because he has the mandate from the Republican like voter base to lead. But if he gets blown the fuck out in the election, I just don't think it'll happen.
I guess as a party, the party watched their candidate say the election was stolen.
Why? You keep focusing on this. They don't care about that. They just want to win their re-elections. That all a politician wants is to win re-election. Donald Trump has told you that if you don't support me, and I'm like literally the most popular guy that you've had in fucking decades, if you don't support me, I will not help you win your election. So then the Republican leadership goes, okay, well, fuck it. We back Trump. That's it. It's as simple as that. Trump's ability to lead isn't because he's a fascist or isn't it because he's anti-democratic or breaks norms or whatever. It's just because he's so fucking popular. But if he loses that popularity, leadership will abandon him. Ted Cruz is not principally standing on some hill for Donald Trump. He just does it because Trump is insanely popular and he's spineless. So he wants the voters. That's it.
I'm looking at a trend where voters are continuing to support this behavior is my issue.
Yeah, that's really bad. That is incredibly bad. But I think that's like a separate issue relating to the internet and like misinformation, but that's a whole other issue that nobody's prepared to tackle right now.
But we're at a point where we need to tackle it, right? Democracy is at threat. And there is an aggressive misinformation machine acting on behalf of the Republican
Party. I don't disagree with you. Why do you think I'm on my stream fucking reading half the fucking day, doing 20,000 fucking note things about the insurrection and all this bullshit? Yes, I'm doing what I can, yeah.
My guy, you are a prodigy.
No.
I'm pleading for the rest of America to start addressing this behavior.
Sure, I agree, yeah. All we can do is, I'll do my little part and push, and that's all you can do, yeah. But, I mean, I agree with you, yeah. It's a huge fucking problem, for sure, yes. I don't disagree. It's a big issue. I'm not disagreeing with you in terms of we have huge issues related to misinformation. I think Trump needs to lose this next election hard.
I know. Holy shit.
Okay.
It's so scary. But I don't think he's going to.
Oh, we'll see what happens.
I know. I'm a doomer.
Okay, I love you. Be careful, buddy, okay?
All right. Peace, love, rock and roll, buddy.
Bye.
Bye. Shit. Hang on. On Discord mobile.
I believe in you.
You think? There it goes. Fuck, Discord's like glitched for me. Can you kick me from the fucking call? Holy shit.
Okay, somebody find me this Facebook stream, please. Menuda live streamed on Facebook. I want this video. It's got to be somewhere.
I just want to be clear that while Donald Trump and others in positions of power are likely to ever see a day after communicating and congregating with several other members of the far right group.
Plead guilty. That's not a light sentence, right?
Hey, Destiny.
Hi, what do you want?
I got a quick question for you.
Okay.
So, caught the tail end of this conversation you had with this guy who just jumped in. So your opinion is that if Trump loses this election, Republican primary voters will say, Trump is a loser, we don't support him anymore.
I think it'll tend in that direction, yeah. That'd be my guess.
Okay. Yeah, I think I hard disagree. It'll be interesting to see if it comes how it ends up shaking out. But I don't know. I feel like my big piece of evidence for why I would forecast that Republican primary voters are going to stick around to Trump, even if he loses in 2024, because I do think he would run again in 2028 if he loses again, as insane as that would be, assuming he's up to it, is because after he lost in 2020, I mean, he wins in 16, but they take huge losses in 2018, huge losses in 2020, obviously, huge losses in 2022. They supported him. He got like 60, 70% of the vote in the Republican primary. And I mean, I guess in theory, it's like, oh, well, his support might go down to 50%, but that's still enough to overwhelmingly win a Republican primary. So I don't know. I think a sufficiently large portion of the base is going to stick around after 2024 if he ends up losing. I mean, how many Republicans started believing that the election was rigged basically just because Trump told them so after 2020? He's just going to do the same thing in 2024, and they're going to think the 2024 election's rigged as well, right? But
I think at that point, I think you would start to actually see some like deep state tier shit where not really deep state, but the Republican Party will find a way to eject him because he's become he already has he's become cancerous to the party.
0% chance.
Okay? Well,
I really don't think so because
you can't lose all your office. You can't lose over and over and over and lose all your fucking special elections and all your 2022 midterms and keep losing and running those guys losing all your shit.
Lindsey Graham isn't losing. Mitch McConnell isn't losing. Ted Cruz isn't losing. There's just so many Republican politicians who are. I mean, how many Republican politicians have lost in these more swingy areas?
Didn't they have didn't they have a predicted upset in 2020 or an unpredicted upset in 2022?
No, they did. You're right. But then look who everyone supported going into the Republican primary in 2024. Everyone supported Donald Trump, right? And so I'm agreeing that it gets. With each election loss, it gets harder and harder. And the ultimate constraint is Trump's age because he is a really old guy. I mean, presumably he's not going to live forever, right? So at a certain point, they have to do a hard transition. But so long as Trump is able to give a press conference, I just don't think these politicians are going to go anywhere because they're deathly terrified of getting primary. They're more afraid of getting primary than losing the general election, at least the plurality of the Republican bases. A guy like Ted Cruz, for the most part, he doesn't really have to worry that much about losing in Texas. Same thing with Lindsey Graham in South Carolina. These politicians in Kentucky, Midwestern, a lot of the Midwestern states, let's say, places like this. And so, I just don't think he's always going to have a really large portion of the Republican sort of mainstream people not go back for him. I mean, after January 6th, Mitch McConnell was talking a big game. Oh, Trump invited these people in. He's violent. This was a terrorist act. And then mum's the word, basically, as soon as he realizes, oh, this actually didn't stop Trump from being popular with our voting base.
Okay. I don't understand what the point of this argument is. Like, I disagree. I could be wrong, but I don't. I mean, literally nothing that either of us does has. Oh, okay, sure. It was just a discussion. Sure, yeah. I think that he can only sustain.
Calling you an asshole for saying.
Sure.
I'm just saying, it's an interesting discussion. I'm just not sure if Trump's going to go away if he loses in 2024.
I don't think he'll want to go away, but if he. You just can't run a loser that many times. It's already a little crazy that he's still being ran, but I mean, he still had so much support of the party. But if he loses again, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens, I guess, yeah.
We will see. All right. Talk to you later, bud.
Be careful.
Patriots storm the Capitol building.
Thank you, Kick Chat. Thank you for finding this video. Jesus.
Patriots storm the Capitol building. There's violence against patriots by the DC police. So we're en route in a Grand Theft Auto golf cart to the Capitol building right now. Hey guys. Yes, what's up? It's you. There's fucking war in the streets right now. Oh my god. Oh my god.
At the light, turn left onto Constitution.
Hold on. Why did I put Muda? It's Menuda.
Oh. Here we are. Capitol, baby. It's going down. Barking?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stick this in my pocket and live stream, all right?
Full video. Full video. Don't mind if I do.
Stop the steal! 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 We are marching to the Capitol, and they better do the right thing today. If not, All right, we are marching. A million or so.
I know where Pence lives up on Wisconsin Avenue. That punk ass better do what he's supposed to. Oof.
Of us.
Oh, and they even timeline it and everything. Is this prepared by DC federal prosecutors, or is this put together by like some news org? Because this is saying DOJ evidence. I'm curious if they made this timeline out of the DOJ evidence, or if the prosecutors put together this for the trial. Huh. Seems like J6 committee? No, this was for, this was shown at the trials, I believe, probably for the seditious conspiracy charges for the Oath Keeper people. This is the Lexington quote. They got the multiple stacks. Apparently this is him. His channel has tons of J6 stuff as well. Gotcha. It looks like he's grabbing everything here off of the superseding indictment that we were reading. Oof. Oh wait, fuck me. This is actually muted. My bad. I don't think they were saying that. No. Okay. Getting rowdy out here. Ryan is an NBC reporter. Gotcha. There's Rhodes. Do you know what would make me lose my fucking mind? Has Rob Noor ever said anything ever about Ray Epps? Remember that while the Oath Keepers and while the Proud Boys had been extensively planning for months to do this insurrection, that Ray Epps is supposedly the guy that did it all. Because one guy the night before in the street said, we need to go into the Capitol building. Like, even bringing that up is comical. We watched this? Yeah, all of this is from the superseding indictment that we... Yeah, I see the Rob tweet. Damn, kidded the fuck out. There they are. Merges call between Megs and Green. Oh, three-way calling. That's them being peacefully let in by the police officers. God damn, that's spooky. Jesus. These are the guys that went, they tried to get to the Senate chambers and then they tried to get to Pelosi in the House. Jesus. Just grandmas walking around.
USA, 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 USA. I am doing a video. USA, 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 USA. It's our house. We are here talking to Scottish, they're pussies. But everybody, all the Trump supporters are here.
Who's worse, the Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys? It seems like the Proud Boys were more serious about what they did and did what they wanted to do. Like, they executed their plan perfectly, I think. The Oath Keepers were way more ambitious and didn't execute. So I'd have to go back through the Enrique Tarrio indictment. I didn't take notes on it. I just read it on stream with a crazy guy. But I don't recall them having like crazy guns and stuff shipped in and like rapid like response teams and shit ready to go. But they were the ones that led the initial breach into... what's up, dog? I've seen you post this same thing 50 million times. Thank you. I've seen it. We read this. They did not write this. They didn't literally write this out. This document was given to Enrique Tarrio. Please stop posting the same fucking... Actually, hold on. You know better than this. Stop posting the same fucking link over and over. Jesus Christ.
We're not going to tear gas and smoke bombs and rubber bullets, and we're here.
We're free people.
We're free.
Today I wiped my ass on Pelosi's doorknob.
Woo!
Why did January 6th fail? Because on the day of, it was because Pence didn't back down, which was really good. Who else would have been responsible? I think Pence not backing down was really important. That was probably the singular most important thing. I think that's what everything came down to on J6, I think. Everything else was pretty fucked. Also, I think the Secret Service and everybody probably executed their job about as well as they could have that day too. The Capitol Police, I think, were tremendously brave. They did a good job. You saw that one, the one black cop dude who, the Senate open door to the Senate chambers was to the left, and Pence was like 5 yards past that door, I think, in his office, and he managed to lead the people coming up the stairs to the other side. Secret Service moved people around appropriately and kept them out of harm's way. The preparation, the number of people there was like just the biggest fuck up. But I think the people at the Capitol that day did their job exceedingly well, I think. His name is Goodman. There you go. Oh, Goodman. Yeah, true. There you go.
Headed to the Capitol building.
What was the DoD reasoning for not sending any military? I don't think we know right now why it took so long to get anybody there. It took so long. I believe that the initial reasoning for not having more people at the Capitol was because people didn't want the impression of like the military at the Capitol while the vote was being counted. It was bad looks. People already had a lot of mistrust because of the fact that it was Donald Trump. You already had the bad look of I think it was the Capitol, no. Was it the National Guard that were fighting protesters before? outside, like it just people wanted to avoid those basically bad optics, and they didn't think that this day was going to be as violent or as explosive as it ended up being.
Patriots stormed the Capitol building. There's violence against Patriots by the DC police. So we're en route in a Grand Theft Auto golf cart to the Capitol building right now.
That's the one thing. Yeah.
Hey guys. Yes. What's up, Snoop? Hi. There's fucking more in the streets right now. Oh my god. Oh my god.
At the light, turn left onto Constitution.
Because they are at the behest of the president, and he didn't want them there until he couldn't bear it any longer without looking furtherly complicit. There is no evidence that Donald Trump slowed down the deployment of the National Guard. I haven't seen any evidence presented for that. It just, in looking at the J6 committee's report of all the conversations that were happening in the control room that day for the security and everything, it genuinely just seems like it was a clusterfuck of people figuring out, like, do we really need to send anybody? I don't know. Do we have the Secret Service sending people? Do we really? We've already got some National Guard doing traffic. Like, it just seemed like it was genuinely clusterfucked. Yeah. Now, Trump probably could have made a call and cut through all the noise and said, deploy the National Guard. Or Miller, not Milley, right? I think it was Miller was the, it would be the Secretary of Defense, right? Trump, Secretary of Defense, and then after that would be DC National Guard. I think he could have done it, but,
Oh, here we are. Capitol, baby. It's going down. Parking?
Yeah.
I'm just going to stick this in my pocket.
yes, thank you, Nether. I saw you post that in both chats, like I would notice. That is true. Good thing. This is a good point. The kill shot is asking, what if a sitting president was at the building at it was the unelected contender sending everyone? Absolutely true. I'm gonna bring that up in the next debate. Tim Pool, you think you're so fucking smart? How about this? What if a sitting president was at the building at it was the unelected contender sending everyone? Yeah, he would be destroyed. Thank you. Thank you.
Live stream, all right? Oh, here we are. Capitol, baby. It's going down. Parking?
Yeah.
I'm just going to stick this in my pocket and live stream, all right? They said, word is they got in the building. Let's go.
Oh, why didn't they highlight Warrior, the dog, the German Shepherd? What the fuck? Oh, they did highlight him. Never mind. Just kidding. I think that's the dog, right? Oh, they just didn't circle his face. Well, that's kind of mean. That chatter's message was more coherent than Trump's last speech. I just do, every time I see Trump speak now, I just tweet about how he's incoherent. I think it's funny. Watch conservatives get triggered. This is elder abuse. It's so fucking hilarious to me that I don't know how this happened, but somehow the Democratic Party has like managed to take the White Lives Matter from the conservatives. They've got to be triggered as fuck about this. Oh my God. Holy shit. This is so sad, bordering on elder abuse. Watching him stumble through his sentences, it's very clear he's suffering from some sort of dementia or other disease of the mind. Compare him to how he used to be to today. Wow. Dude, I also noticed that Trump works a crowd and he functions in a crowd really well, but when he has to speak like just on his own, oof, it's pretty rough.
She picked a radical left man that is, he's got things done that he has positions that are just not, it's not even possible to believe that they exist. He's going for things that nobody's ever even heard of. Heavy into the transgender world, heavy into lots of different worlds having to do with safety. He doesn't want to have borders. He doesn't want to have walls. He doesn't want to have any form of safety for our country. He doesn't mind people coming in from prisons, and neither does she.
Okay. Eliminator, thanks for the 500 subs. Okay, we found this video. At 2:33 p.m., let's see, park golf carts, place a phone call to the operation leader. When they arrived at the Capitol, they meet. What is this? Me describing my favorite porn star to a friend.
He has positions that are just not, it's not even possible to believe that they exist. He's going for things that...
Nice, thank you. Good. Reddit video. Thank God.
Nobody's ever even heard of. Heavy into the transgender world, heavy into lots of different worlds.
Whirls. That failure to enunciate that D at the end, the guttural stop, clear sign of Parkinson's dementia. Absolutely. Tragic. Wow. But I mean, it is the oldest candidate to ever run for president, so yikes. Let's see, entering the Capitol. Let's see. Fighting with officers. Do they go through the rotunda as well at 3:17? Ultimately repelled. Jesus fucking Christ. Why are these people so fucking disgusting? Do I want to... Never mind. I don't need this fight. Okay. Immediately after breach of the Capitol at 3:30, they meet. That evening, okay. Let's see. To the leadership signal chat. They met in a restaurant to celebrate 7:30, Rhodes messaged leadership to the chat. Thousands of ticked off patriots spontaneously marched from the Capitol. You ain't seen nothing yet. We'll be back at 6 a.m. to do it again. We got food for 30 days. We've only begun to fight. We aren't quitting. We are reloading. The Patriots entering their own capital to send a message to the traitors is nothing compared to what's coming. We're going to probe their defense line right now. 6 a.m. They should let us in. We'll see. Oh, this is January 7th. At 5:54 a.m. he stated, departing for recon now. Stuart, call me when you're up. I'm with you, Cap. Keep the faith. We'll have our answers by the 20th. We've been organizing a bug-out plan if the usurper is installed. Something like 20-plus Oath Keepers going to Kentucky mountains on hundreds of acres, apparently. Be like the NVA and network tunnels. In the weeks after J6, Rhodes purchased a large volume of firearms and related equipment. Jesus. Another $6,000 on sights, bipod, scope. Another $1,500 on scopes, magazines, and other items. $7,000 on hundreds of rounds of ammo, duffel bags, and then another $1,000 on parts, $2,000 on parts. Jesus Christ. Trump gave the Rolex back. I see. Let's see. They continue to message each other and make plans immediately after January 6th. On January 20th, Inauguration Day, James messaged another individual. After this, 1, 2, 3. If nothing happens, 1, 2, 3. It's war. Civil War 2.0. Base. Okay. Which one is James here, who's referenced in this indictment? James. He's an unindicted co-conspirator, or? Joshua James. Okay. January 12th, 10th. Oh, that was already to this. What's this part? Oh, these are just other counts. So we had conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, obstruction of an official proceeding, and aiding and abetting. Conspiracy to prevent an officer from discharging any duties. Wait, would you call them, what do you call it, like an incorporated charge? What is it called when you charge first and second degree murder at same time? Additional charge? Like, can you be charged with a conspiracy to commit a crime and committing the crime at the same time? Are these like two different charges? Oh, a lesser included offense. There you go. Is conspiracy a lesser offense, like a lesser included offense, or is conspiracy like a whole separate thing? Can you be charged with murder and conspiracy for murder same time? Yes, he can be charged with both. Entering an agreement to commit an unlawful act is a crime itself. While it also requires that one of the conspirators overt act should further the conspiracy, but if he did commit the murder, we could safely say that is the case. So he'd be charged with both. Okay, gotcha. That it is a crime in and of itself, according to this guy on Legal Advice Off Topic Reddit. Thank you. Admitted that he heard Rhodes repeatedly implore an unidentified party he was speaking with to tell President Trump to call upon groups like the Oath Keepers to forcibly oppose a transfer of power. Who was he talking to? It would have been subpoenaed, whoever this is, right? Well, new weird tweet from Trump Jr. What the fuck? What even is this a reference to? I can't wait to be a stallion like Dad. Bro, we are in Tim Walz's stomach. Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay, horse cum memes. All right. Jesus. Is this like a monitor thing, or is this like a whole upper stadium full of people? How many fucking people are at this fucking event? It's politics. Who cares? My God. Jesus. It's got to be at least like 200 people. Tim Walz falsely claimed he carried weapons in war in resurfaced clip. Minnesota Governor Walz, somebody wanted me to look at this earlier, falsely claimed that he carried weapons in war in a resurfaced clip that J.D. Vance blasted this week as another example of the Democratic vice president candidate using stolen valor. What did he say?
Online and move in today.
Gotcha.
Hope woke up like many of you did 5 weeks ago and said, Dad, you're the only person I know who's in elected office. You need to stop what's happening with this. I'll take my kick in the butt for the NRA. I spent 25 years in the Army and I hunt. And I gave the money back, and I'll tell you what I have been doing. I've been voting for common sense legislation that protects the Second Amendment, but we can do background checks. We can do CDC research. We can make sure we don't have reciprocal carry among states, and we can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried in war is the only place where those weapons are at. We won't do it by dividing us. We will doing it by bringing in responsible gun owners from the side to make this happen. Give me the opportunity to earn your endorsement. We will make these things happen in Minnesota and make sure that this state continues its long progressive tradition. Thanks for having me.
Or use language that has suggested that he carried weapons in a fighting situation. Wait, what is this quote from? I know from coming from a military family, there is a difference between being in a combat area, being involved at a time of war, and actually being in a position where people are shooting at you, he added. Walz did make a comment speaking to a group. He's done it a couple times where he said he used language to suggest that he carried weapons in a fighting situation. Well, this makes it sound like he's saying the opposite, no? Like if I say I know coming from a military family, there's a difference between these things. It's not implying that he's directly experienced it. Isn't it implying that someone in his family has taught him this or talked to him about this? Isn't that the Jake CNN guy saying it? He added Jake Foreman. Oh yeah, this is Jake Foreman. This would be him, not Walz saying that, true. Okay. Jake Paul revealed plans to compete in boxing for the 2028 Olympics. Damn. Thank God. Finally, somebody to represent what America is truly about. Destruction of government property. Civil disorder and aiding and abetting, tampering with documents or proceedings. I don't think anything else interesting is in here. Okay. You know that Jake Paul is on steroids, right? What? Jake Paul is the most natty dude in the world. Fuck you. You're completely wrong. Do we care about any of these? Wait, why is this not working? Is this one that I tried to sound fixer and it... Oh, it is. Bazed.
Virginia Hospital. And the Second Circuit in New York, Citizens versus Poole, said that you can sue the state when you have a 1983 claim. And that's exactly what we've done.
Can I not always. You're trying to get prospective injunctive relief, right?
Excuse me?
You can specify technical here.
Okay, I don't give a fuck about this.